Hello and welcome. Today we are doing episode 5 of my Eve story, Becoming a CEO. So last time we spoke about the Havenwood Empire, how our leader left, and how everybody voted me to become the next CEO of a brand new corporation. So I made a new corporation and I named it the Imperial Empire. We kept Empire because of the Havenwood Empire, and I thought Imperial Empire sounded cool at the time, so that's what we went with. So we started getting all our members across to the new corporation. Obviously, we'd lost quite a few guys on the way. A lot of people didn't understand what was going on, even though we sent countless emails to everybody, Eve mails. But yeah, people, they didn't want to change, or they didn't understand why we was all changing. Maybe they thought that we was trying to steal members from the current corporation and start our own one. I don't know, but we lost quite a few members. I think we was about 10 members strong when we first started the Imperial Empire, and we started recruitment pretty much straight away, day one. The problem was nobody else wanted any leadership roles. It was all down to me. Nobody wanted to help recruitment. Everyone wanted just to go and do their own thing and expected me to run everything. Recruitment, give them stuff to do, figure out where we're going to live, what kind of corporation we're going to be. Everything fell to me, and it was extremely hard, especially considering I was voted into this role and then left with no help. It was very hard. I'd never run a corporation before as a CEO. Obviously, I ran the Havenwood Empire as a director, which is a less of a role, and there was a lot less for me to do. I just had to entertain people, and I did some recruitment, but not a lot. So now it was all down to me, and nobody wanted to help. So corp growth was quite steady. We was getting about 2 members a day. A lot of people, after joining a corporation, if there's nothing to do, they usually leave the game or just leave the corp. So we did have quite a few AFK people, basically just people that are not playing anymore, sitting in the corporation. But it made our numbers look bigger, so more people was interested in joining. So it was a good thing in a way, but also a bad thing when people realized that, oh wait, there's only like 10 active people. Anyway, so we decided we're going to be a PvP-focused corporation. We want to do high-sec wars, like mercenary work. People are going to hire us to help them in their war, which never happened. So we found a few corporations that we was going to declare war on to get good kill boards. Most corporations that we declared war on kind of just closed and started up a new corporation somewhere else and under a new name. And we wasn't going to keep declaring war on the same guys that are just going to keep switching. Obviously, they didn't want to fight. And there was this one corporation that had 4 members. Now, we didn't really want to fight corporations that had low members, but we was getting desperate at this point. It'd been a few weeks, and there was literally no war targets to fight. I can't remember what the corporation was called. So, they stayed active. At least 2 members stayed active. 2 of them left the corporation. 2 members stayed active. So we decided we was going to use a location agent to find one of the war targets in this corporation. And I did. I had the level requirement, the standing requirement, to use locator agents. And we found this guy. He was in a Myrmidon battlecruiser. So I jumped on Councillor Raven, who was in a stealth frigate at the time, and I flew over to the system where this guy was. Now, he was docked up at the time. He was just sitting in the station. So we waited. Everybody else moved to one of the gates into the system. I think there was only 2 gates. So we was just outside the system behind a gate, waiting for this guy to come out. Now, I had my Harbinger, which was at the time my favourite ship. We had 1 guy in a frigate, and then we had 2 cruisers. That was our whole fleet, 4 members. So we waited, I think it was about 20 minutes. It wasn't very long. And this guy undocks. So I'm watching him on Councillor to see where he goes, and he aligns to the gate where we're all at. So I thought, oh, that's great, he's going to jump through. which he did, and we killed him quite fast. He didn't fight back or anything like that. It was just, a simple shooting a guy at the gate, and that was it, done. So we all flew back to our home system, and was quite happy that we finally got a kill from one of the war targets. And a few hours later, I got an Eve mail. So the guy that we killed sent me a mail saying that he thought the war was a joke and that we would never attack them or even find him. And he was surprised that we did. And he asked us for compensation. Now his words were, I demand 100 million for the loss of his ship, plus 500 million for the inconvenience we caused, or his friends would gank us no matter what is going on. Now this wasn't the first threat mail we ever had. Declaring war on a lot of corporations, people try the I know people that will come and kill you if you try and fight us kind of thing. So we was quite used to this. So we thought, no, it's nothing. We've had mining corporations tell us that they have friends that would declare war on us unless we stop fighting them or close the corporation or whatever. And in the end, they usually just disband their corporation and start up a new one, and nothing ever happens. So we thought, nothing's going to happen. He's not going to come. There's no one going to come and gank us. A few days later, we was running level 4 missions. There was no more wars going on. I think at this point we was bored of declaring war and having to keep paying to fight people that didn't want to fight. So we was running missions, and about 10 ships, 10 destroyers warped into my mission site and ganked me. Now I was hoping that this was unrelated to this guy, and it was just a coincidence. It was just some pirates trying their luck. They wanted to get a battleship on their kill boards or whatever. And lo and behold, I got an Eve mail about 10 minutes after that. And it said, I hope you enjoyed the first of many ganks, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your playtime. And that was it. So I messaged back saying, okay, I get it, you have people that are going to kill us. I explained why we declared war on them. And he says he was going to put the money up if we messaged him again, but because we're new to this, that he will keep it at 100 mil plus 500, so 600 million altogether for compensation, and everything will stop that day if we pay him. So I sat down with our active members and I explained to them the situation. Now they hadn't been affected by it, so a few of them was like, nah, we're not paying him, he's a liar. I had been affected by this. They went for me first, the CEO. So I had around 300 million liquid cash and about 100 million in salvage from running missions. So I had about 400 million. Now, if I gave him all of my money, then I wouldn't be able to replace my ship, and I would have to start running level 3s again to get enough money to buy a new battleship. And I explained this to everybody. And people was starting to donate towards the corp wallet. And I think we raised about 200 million. And a guy named Blazing JP, who had just joined the corporation, wasn't even involved in the war to begin with, donated 100 million as well, which was absolutely awesome. So I still had to pay the majority of it, but we paid it that day. And we didn't get ganked again. Now, I don't know if the guy was just talking big and he paid some mercenaries to come and gank us just the once to prove a point. Or, this guy could have been in with, like, Goon Swarm and we was going to get ganked forever if we didn't pay. I don't know. I still don't know to this day. But I was new to being a CEO and I didn't want the corporation destroyed because of one war or one kill. So we paid it off, and that was that. So at this point, we're all depressed, we're all poor. I can't afford to replace my battleship, so I can't join everyone for level 5 missions. I can't run level 4 missions. I had to go back into a battlecruiser and run level 3s. Now, Blazing JP, the guy that donated 100 million, he was running level 3s as well, so we decided we're going to do it together. Until I have enough money to buy a battleship, and then we're going to move on to level 4s. So me and JP, we started getting closer, and a few months passed, and I made him a director. He was the first director of the Imperial Empire. And the reason I made him a director is that I trusted him. He was a good guy to talk to. Everybody in the corporation had nothing bad to say about it. I did speak to the original members that joined and asked what their opinion was before I elected him. But yeah, I mean, it was a no-brainer, really. He did recruitment while I was offline, and everybody liked him, so why not? So we got to the point where mission running was becoming very boring. We'd been doing it for months. I had my battleship back. I even had enough money to buy a Noctis on my alt account, so I could do my salvaging with him. And we had run missions for a long, long time, and it was getting extremely repetitive. So we had to sit down, me and JP, and discussed the future of the Imperial Empire, what we're going to do. So we tried PvP and we failed. We'd done mission running and we burnt out on that. So we decided, why not try industry? Why not try building ships, playing the markets, getting mining fleets going, and destroying complete systems from all asteroids? Now, I had Councillor Raven, who had already trained a lot of mining skills. In fact, I was about a week out of flying the Orca. Back from when I was in EVE University, the Orca was one of my main goals for that account. So we found a system called Latari, which was like a backwater system. There wasn't many people there, about 4 or 5 active in local. And it had, I think it has 12 asteroid belts, which was really rare to find a system. It was 7 or 8 jumps from Amar, had lots of asteroid belts, and there was nobody there doing it. So it was perfect. So that is where we moved to. And that is where we leave this episode. So thank you once again for listening to my ramblings of my EVE story. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's been listening to this or watching. We've had a lot of views, which was completely unexpected. Now I have been ill for a few days, and my father-in-law is ill. So I haven't had the time to make as many videos as I wanted. And it's been a while since I did another episode. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget to hit that like button if you are still enjoying my EVE story. And show your support by hitting subscribe. And I'll see you next time.